Hey, everybody, welcome back to Red Road Paranormal. My name is Kristina Bloom. I am your co host, along with my friend Bobby Resnick Calkins. I am Alaskan Native Heritage and I am tribally unaffiliated. I'm also a psychic medium, a member of the Adirondack Park Paranormal Society. I'm an author, I'm a vodcast host. Obviously, I have another show too. And now that I've gone through my entire CV, I'm going to hand it right on over to Rez.
Hey everybody, your favorite redneck here, a member of Cryptids Anonymous and Paranormal Society. I'm also, Paranormal Investigator, a Cryptid Investigator. I'm a member of the Stockbridge Munsee Tribe, Band of Mohicans. And today we have a good friend of ours from across the pond, Mr. John Paul. Take it away, John.
Hi guys, I'm John-Paul. I run Horror Hobby Nation UK in the UK. I have my own podcast show. I run paranormal events with my team. I'm also involved with cold cases and many other projects. Like at the moment, we're in a massive petition over here. I'm sure we'll get into it and I'll explain it more later on. But yeah, thank you for having me, guys.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Thanks for being here. What is the name of your
Kristina,
podcast?
Kristina, hold on.
What?
We're international now.
Dude, where
Yeah,
you
we're
been?
in
I've been
bonds.
international.
I know I've just hit Japan this week. I was like that.
Awesome.
Wow. Very cool.
Awesome. International we are, yes.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, John Paul, as I was about to ask you, what is the name of your podcast?
It is Horror Hobby Nation podcast. I've already had Rez on there. We ended up having a 3-hour interview.
Yep. I remember that because I couldn't stick around to watch the whole 3 hours.
It was ridiculous.
That was a good time.
It was. And then I followed the following day with a 5-hour.
Wow. That's crazy. Well, I'm limiting us to 1 hour because I have a client in an hour. So I am limiting us to 1 hour. So, Rez, I thought you had something that you wanted to ask John Paul, and I don't remember what it was.
One of the things I wanted to talk about with you is about this petition that we got going around over there. So, you want to tell our viewers and our listeners about what you got going on?
It's really interesting. Okay, so we have issues over in the UK at the moment we have a lot of fraudulent teams online. There's a lot of scamming going on. And obviously, I got together with Rez, a good friend of mine, Darryl Evans, who's the Lost Souls UK investigator, and Dan Jackson, who works for me as a medium. We put our heads together. I know Rez is over the pond, but it was ideas, and we needed outside perspective on all of this. And we came up with the idea that we think that we should have urban exploring as well as paranormal investigating licensed, and we've called it Paravex. That is the name of the actual campaign, Paravex. And it's to basically, over here, we need it. We need to save our heritage. We're losing a lot of our history, a lot of our sites are being closed down, demolished, and it's all been turned into housing estates. Online scamming. Only a few weeks ago, a lady was scammed of £26,000.
Wow.
I think it works out at around $20,000. I'm not exactly sure.
Probably closer to 30.
Oh, is it? Oh, it's the other way. I keep thinking.
Yeah, it's the other way.
It's unfortunately, it's just something I don't agree with, and I've had a lot of backlash, which I expected, but we've had some interesting feedback. I mean, we've had a Conservative MP sign our petition from the House of Commons. That's massive for us. That's a Parliament member to sign a petition agreeing to this. So we're obviously moving in a direction. I don't think it will make Parliament, which you need 10,000 signatures in 6 months, but it's a start. We need to make people aware of what's going on, and that we need to start addressing it, because a lot of people are saying, it's a hobby. It is a hobby, but here, when you enter a location, for example, abandoned location, it's a civil matter in court. You're not getting done for trespassing. It's just a civil matter. you get moved on. Police take your names and you get moved on. That is it. We think it should be changed. The law should be changed, basically. If you're caught on a site that you shouldn't or do not have permission for, then you should be done for it as trespassing. Simple. It's not your place. It's not your land. Why are you doing it? I believe, I mean, don't get me wrong, when I first started this, I was a nightmare. I was going to all sorts of buildings and I shouldn't have been in. But I was trying to make my name, get myself out there as what I do and how I am, how I investigate, basically, because I'm very unorthodox in the way I investigate. So, you know, we brought up this petition, and I think it's, when we spoke about this, we were thinking small, but we reckon if we could get a change in the UK, then maybe we could push it globally. But like you say, you've got to start somewhere. We did speak about this, didn't we, Rez, about it going internationally. And we were thinking, what would it do to the paranormal and urban exploring fields? Well, for a start, you would have people that have to be license checked. Buildings would be a lot safer. People would know that they're there, basically, rather than just going to an abandoned building, it being damaged, somebody gets hurt, nobody knows they're there. Then you've got, we're talking about different graded licenses for mediums online. When you do readings, we think that mediums or tarot card readers or whoever does that sort of thing online should have to use PayPal, because PayPal will give you insurance against your money and protect it. So if it is a scam case, you have a better chance of getting your money back. Not only that, it's recorded with the police and it's a criminal offence. You know, so there's that. There's all sorts we want to do within the paranormal field. We're looking at urban explorers, but it's going to be a hard field, that one, to deal with. I have done a lot of urban exploring, and it's hard to put on that one. But as for paranormal teams, we need to weed out the fact that people are turning up to a location, claiming that they're a paranormal team, go in, wreck it, come out, leave, gone. And team goes in there the following day, and the place is trashed. You know, this is our history. The youth of today have to understand, you know, our grandparents and their grandparents fought in wars to keep us seeing stuff. You know, they fought for all this. And we've got nothing left of it. Our country, I know the Americans say it a lot, they want to come over and investigate. I've got a lot of friends in Europe who have also said they want to come over and investigate. You're coming over to investigate rubble, as far as I'm concerned, unless you're paying for paid events. Most of our free places, locations are rubble. And it's shocking, you know, the English heritage sites and the national heritage sites, they do a brilliant job of keeping some of the big locations, you know, protected, but we're losing too much too quick. Our country's falling to pieces, if I'm honest. And within the paranormal field right now, there's so much going on. I mean, my Facebook's clogged up with people bitching about other teams. You know, Para-Unity doing certain things. One team will do something, the police are involved, the drugs and other 3 teams in. I don't understand why people can't keep their head down and work together. This is what this field's all about. It's helping each other, but no, one's got to be better than the other. And I'll say it how it is, to be honest with you. As you well know, Rez.
Yeah.
We are in a bad position here in the UK with regarding paranormal teams. Really are. And this is why we thought of this petition. I had it approved 3 days ago. We had to get 5 signatures first. Rez was one of them. Irene Kido from Japan was another. And then you have me, Dan, and Daryl. We all signed it, got it sent off to Parliament. 4 days later, a lady and a guy called Sean contacted me from House of Commons, asking whether they could amend the petition because how I put it came across a bit too harsh in a way. So they amended it. It was then accepted. I think we've got 16 on it at the moment. I'm not exactly sure. But, you know, we've started something now. I'm just hoping it'll catch. And like I said, we've got the Paravex name now, and we're doing well with Paravex, to be honest with you. Like, you know, we've got Rez part of it, Darryl down in Colchester, Daniel an hour from me, and then you've got me at the minute. But there is people interested in what we're doing, and it's nice to see that we do have support, not just from the MP, but from actual teams. You know, people who actually want this, want to be serious, taken seriously. Because at the moment, we ain't getting nothing at the moment. We're not taken seriously. You can see it on Facebook. I can show you many groups who try the hardest, and we're just not getting nothing. You know, it's not because of the location, it's just how people are. You know,
It's not just in the UK though. I mean, it's
Yeah,
really
it's-
not just in the UK.
I'm
seeing this. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of the same arguments on Facebook. The thing though that I'm seeing is I'm not seeing the actual arguments. I'm seeing the complaining about the arguments.
No, do you know what? They're not shy, the British. We're arrogant. I'll give you that. We're not shy. They'll post a full-on
Yeah.
graphical conversation of so-and-so's done this, read it all, and you've got like 20 pages to go through and like that.
Yeah.
You
I think
can't
that
say that.
can I just say, I'm going to play devil's advocate just a little bit.
Go for it.
It's all good and well to have a petition that says we need to have licensing. We need to have however you're going to determine the licensing. That's a lot of bureaucracy. That's a lot of paperwork system that needs to be set up, and who gets to determine who's certified and who isn't certified. You know, so there's going to have to be a board of certification for every country, and probably in a country as large as ours, probably one for every state. So we have 50 states. That's a huge undertaking. So I guess what I'm asking is, it's all well and good to start the wheels going, but where do you see it actually working?
Well, to be honest with you, we haven't got that far. We were just told
Okay.
when I spoke to the House of Commons, the two people I spoke to, Sean and this lady, they said we need to start a base, a foundation as such. This is what we need to do.
Mm-hmm.
And even they're interested in it. They just want to see how it's going to play out, whether we will be taken seriously. I mean, you never know. I mean, I agree with you that it's going to be a lot of hard work and to have specialised people. It's not about, see, people think because they have certificates, they're fully trained. It's not about that. The licenses aren't for people to say that people are fully trained or they're experienced in the field. It's to say that they are who they are, like an ID badge. It has a special hologram on it for that area. You know, so if the police turn up, you can produce your badges to say, this is who I am, this is my bit company, this is, you know, my team, there's the hologram, and they can go, right, we've scanned it, because the police deal with a lot of stuff at night, and usually it's urban explorers or paranormal teams going into buildings.
Yeah.
If we can eliminate that a lot more, it will take pressure off the police to actually do what they're supposed to be doing, rather than running around after Tom, Dick, and Harry in a building.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's not like that. We feel that people should be able to ask to go into locations. You know, people just go into them. I'm one guy. I started. But after like a year of it all, I started to realise I wasn't going to get to locations that I wanted. So I contacted a lot of people, big people, to go for, like Siemens, the telephone company, to get into the Lord Line building, which is a fish factory on the port. It's a port in Hull, and we spoke to Siemens, and they sent us a letter to say, you know, basically we don't care, you know, whether you're going or not, but here's a letter to say you contacted us. It's the same with advertising for certain locations, and you know, sending off for the videos that I've done with the German TLC company. You know, it's all about asking, but people won't ask, so just go on. And it just infuriates me. Like I said, I've been caught myself, and it's a waste of time. But we need to weed out the real people from the kids, I'll say.
So in this country, I'm licensed, which means I have a business license that says I'm a psychic. What that means in this country is that I'm an entertainer. It's not taken seriously as a profession. So I do have a business license that says I'm a psychic, but it also says I'm an entertainer because psychic is considered entertainment here. Is that the
Yep.
same there?
No,
Okay.
there is no licenses whatsoever. The only licenses you have are paranormal teams who do events. And
So
they're
the
covered
events
for,
actually precipitate the license.
yeah, basically.
Okay. Yeah, I run all of that under one license. So
Yeah, we do, funny enough, but you
yeah,
know, our mediums and psychics, there's nothing like that here. And
yeah,
that's what we're trying to get in. Because it'd be a good idea.
right.
See,
I
the
have
problem
to
I have
have
at
a
the moment,
business license to collect money.
yeah,
Yep.
Yeah.
well, people
Basically,
don't
that's
see it
what it
like that.
is.
People
Okay.
don't see it like that. They think it's a quick way of earning money over here.
Okay.
Do a read, 30 minutes, get paid £20.
Yeah. I mean, I have to do business taxes. I have to include all the income I make by doing readings or doing events or whatever. And it's a business tax thing. That's what my license is for taxes. But it doesn't say anything about me being qualified.
See, I don't think you can
Yeah.
say anybody's qualified in any of our fields. Let's be honest.
Right. Yeah, so
You're
that's,
learning all the time.
yeah, I don't know about qualifications either. I mean, I know plenty of certified psychics who I won't send anyone to.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, what's a piece of paper?
Right. It means I paid to have a business license. That's what it means.
Yeah, but if you look at all the other people that, like, for example, we have over here, they do courses. They run courses on demonology and that.
I teach courses on psychic development. I wrote the book on courses on psychic development.
But I don't understand how a piece of paper, how you can turn around, because this is what we have over here, is that people turn around and go, I'm experienced in this, there's my certificate. I'm
Yeah.
qualified is the word, and you're like that.
Right. I mean, you can say you're qualified if somebody gives you a certificate.
How can you be qualified in an area that you're learning every day?
Exactly. That is exactly my point. Who gets to decide who's good enough to be certified? That is my whole point.
So this is why we're trying to
Yeah.
sort out, obviously with the licenses, it's not about being qualified.
Okay.
It's about being recognized for who you are and what you do. Like urban explorers that go out a lot, they go to places that paranormal teams don't, like houses, abandoned places, and they get a lot more than what we do. But it's nice to have like a card or a badge or
Mhm.
an ID to produce with the police to say, this is what I do. I'm allowed to, because I paid to do urban exploring. This is my ID badge. The hologram can be like checked. You know, they'll have a database. That's how it is. And they'll check up, yeah, so and so, yes, here, don't worry about it. Yes, you know, there's no issues. Carry on. But then if
Mhm.
you've got a group of kids that are doing it and they're there and they haven't got these badges or ID or licenses as such,
Mhm.
then you've got move on, or you're being charged with trespassing. The problem we
Right.
have over here is our law with trespassing. A lot of people know that you're not going to get done for it. You know, it's a civil court matter, so they'll just move you on.
Yeah, here it's a
Where,
criminal offense.
yeah, see, that's
Yep.
where I think
Yeah.
it's wrong over here. It should be the same
Yeah.
here.
Here, trespassing is, I believe it's a misdemeanor, but it is a criminal
Yep.
offense.
It is a misdemeanor unless you do
Mhm.
damage, and then
And then that's a
depending
whole
on the
nother
dollar
charge.
amount. Yep.
Yeah.
But with this whole licensing and everything, with me, I feel it creates accountability for the people that are there. You know, you're accountable for your actions.
Mhm.
And, you know, so therefore, you know, someone that isn't supposed to be there, hit them with the trespassing. And
Mhm.
if they do it more than once, they're a repeater. You know,
Exactly.
they're going to end up on the list of eventually of
See, the problem
not
we have,
being allowed to do
Right.
any of this stuff.
a lot
And
of our,
especially if there's damages that's being done while they're there. Because as you know, I know you, like you said, over in the UK, we also have the problem here of kids going in and graffitiing the place and trashing it and partying hard. Or you have those that go in there and, post up and try to use squatters' rights, and it's not right.
No, it's not. I don't think it's right at all. Graveyard cemeteries. I'd love to have that banned.
I
That's the last place that people rest.
Yeah, see, I got a whole different theory about those that hunt cemeteries. I'm sorry, when I die, I'm not gonna be hanging around a cemetery where my carcass is.
No, me
My
either.
soul's
Well, my
free. I
carcass
want
won't be in a
to.
cemetery, but
Yeah,
I
I'm
know
getting
I'm
cremated,
going
but
downstairs anyway, so I'm not bothered.
I'll be cremated. I'm gonna be honest with you.
yeah, me
But
too.
I won't be looking over my loved ones. I'm gonna be checking in
Of course,
upstairs.
you've
What
got a
the
job to do,
powers
haven't
should
you?
be. You know, I have plenty of things that I'm gonna enjoy because I'm not being held down by this meat suit no more.
Mm-hmm.
You've still got a job
So
as a parent, haven't you? And it's,
yeah,
regardless of whether you're here or passed on, you still got that job,
yeah.
So, like I said, I'd love to have it stopped here in the cemeteries here. And the big one that does me a lot, I don't know if it happens over your ways, war cemeteries,
What?
war
Oh,
graves.
military cemeteries.
Yeah, military
Okay.
cemeteries. I
Yeah,
just, no,
a lot of them are guarded, I believe.
Yeah, and locked up. Like there's a lot of security on our military cemeteries.
we don't have that. It's mixed in with our normal cemeteries so people can walk through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So
it's a little bit crazy. Sorry, go ahead, Rez.
I was gonna say, so let's switch gears now. And what's the most, I don't want to say terrifying, but the most scariest place you've had a chance to investigate over there? If you could say there's one place that really you had an oh shit moment and you
Oh,
don't
God.
really want to go back, but you would be because of the moment.
I think it's got to be, for me, it would be Ravens Car Tunnel. It was the third location that we did that night, and I was already low. I was on the point of being attacked anyway. I would have been attacked by anything. And Mickey the Moose at the time, the medium that was with me, we were so low. Basically, I'd been attacked in a British radar fort further around the corner. And then we went into Ravens Car Tunnel, the third location, and he picked up on a woman. I've got a picture. I think I've shown you the picture of the lady in the wall. She was there and hearing the kids and everything. You know when you're low, you know when your batteries are going, and you know when it's time to leave.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Yeah.
did call it. Another time would be Willingham Woods, which is an old POW town. I think it's Willingham POW 206 or 306 over here in the UK. It's a set of woods that used to be an old POW camp for Polish, Germans, and Italians. Now, I walked with my team, and there's a little beach area where there's a bridge, so you've got your fresh water running through it, and then you can still see the old huts and green fence. But on this beach, we stood looking towards the main, where the main POW bit was. But what I didn't realise was we were standing on children's graves. That's where the children were buried. But unfortunately, due to what people have been doing in them, we picked up a family of three, two sons and a mother, and they were killers.
Hmm.
And
Oh,
they came
wow.
at us. They came at us. And I said to Rez, I'm an empath, so I pick up shadows. I watched one of my best mates get attacked and physically throw up.
Wow.
I have never ever dropped my gear so quick and ran in my life. You could see them closing in. It's like 1 minute you see the light, and then all of a sudden it's like straight on top of you. Think of it as the film Ghosts. When the black shadows come up to take the
Yeah.
spirit, and it's like that. I'm not going to lie. I'm a big lad, as Rez knows, and that petrified me. So that was probably my first experience dealing with something dark. I won't say demonic because it wasn't demonic. It was a very dark entity, all three of them. and you could hear them walking through the path on through grass. And that was only last year that happened to me.
Wow.
So I remember a lot when it comes to things like that, but that sticks in the head. Only because three mediums that were there couldn't handle it. They couldn't protect the barrier. When they put up their own, what they call it, like light, ball of light. All
Their
three of
own
them.
bubble.
Yeah, all three of them. Their bubbles went, and I'm talking three mediums. So if that's happened, I've got no choice, have I really? I've got to go. We've got to go.
Yeah.
And so we did. But yeah, that frightened the hell out of me. Proper fighting and that was a different experience.
Wow.
It's like
Sounds like
looking
it.
in the corner in the bedroom in the dark.
Yeah, that would definitely get my attention for sure. Yikes. So
Yeah.
okay, so I'm going to flip that. And what is the most joyful experience you've had in a paranormal investigation?
Wow.
We're always talking about the scary stuff. I want to flip it because there's a lot of joyful, funny
think
stuff that happens.
When I went back home, I was born in an RAF hospital, which originally was American built, RAF Nocturne. It was used to be obviously the UAS F, I think it is. And the Americans handed it back to us in '89, and the British built the British side of it basically. So you've got two different architects to the building itself. I went back after 28 years. I hadn't been back to Nocturne Hall, and it shut down exactly 1 year after I was born. So I'd never met anyone from Nocturne Hall or anything, but walking into the hospital for the first time, seeing where I was born, where I had my first operation, and then feeling what was there, it was overwhelming for me. It wasn't, there is there is dark things there, but they didn't bother me. It was more of I'd come home and I knew I was home. It was like I was being welcomed as such. But the stuff I've seen there is mind blowing. I've got a video somewhere where I walked up a corridor in 38-degree heat, and we've got droplets going up in front of me as I'm following up. What it looked like was a nurse running up with a bowl of water or a big tall glass full of thing, and there was water spilling, and you could see the droplets, but they weren't evaporating in the heat. It was really, really weird. I got it on camera, but Nocturne Hall for me, definitely Nocturne Hall. It was mind blowing, absolutely mind blowing.
I think
So
that's really cool. Sorry. Go
that
ahead.
is. I got a question now. You said you had with this your home feeling. Do you think maybe the spirits and the energies there kind of recognized your energy in spirits and recognized that you were born there, and that's why
When
they
I
gave
went
you that?
there,
Yeah. Do you think
do
the
you know,
spirits there recognized you?
I actually highly think that. I mean, my mother served as a nurse there. My father was RAF there as a guard duty, and he did a lot of other stuff there as well. So, it's highly likely. I mean, I died there. I was born, I died 3 times there. So it is highly likely that, I was actually recognized. I can walk down the darkest corridors there and not have an issue. I can have, at the time, I had customers walk down there and they couldn't do it. They're pulling, there's people being tugged away, there's punching. Daniel got thrown through one of the windows, which was quite funny. But yeah, it's an amazing experience. If you come from a place like that and it is abandoned, the feelings of being overwhelmed with happiness and joy, if I'm honest, it's the first time in my whole life I felt accepted somewhere. That's how I saw it. And it's
Wow.
really weird. And everyone knows I'm autistic and bipolar, so my feelings don't come out. But when I'm there, it
That's
all comes out.
beautiful.
It is.
It's
Yeah.
absolutely beautiful. Can I just plug in here because I looked it up? 38 degrees Celsius for our American friends is 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Just, so
Yeah.
because otherwise some of our listeners aren't going to know what we're talking about. 38, that's not hot. It is in
It is over here.
Celsius.
It is
Yeah.
over.
Yes.
See, do you
That's
know
why
the
I looked
weirdest
it
thing
up.
is? The weirdest thing is, I know a lot of people from a lot of different countries, as I'll say. Australia, for example, look at their heat. They'll come over here and they can't handle it. Our heat is so different.
It's very
You know,
wet.
yeah, and when
Very
it's not,
humid.
when it's dry, it's a killer.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, the United States just
See,
has so many different what am I thinking? Like there's had desert, there's mountains, there's forests, there's rainforests, there's I mean we have like all the climates. So,
you know,
yeah,
I prefer a dry heat over a humidity heat. I
me
hate
too.
sweating. Give me the
Humidity
hot,
is
dry, a little bit of wind. I'm good.
no, we don't have that here at the moment. It's horrific.
Yeah,
You
I
know, one of
know.
these days I'm gonna make it over there and we're gonna catch some haunts together. You know, I've already looked at the legalities of coming over, you know, for
Have
everything
you?
looks. Yep.
Oh yeah, you did ask, didn't you? We did say.
Yeah.
Did it
We
say
were
you
talking.
could, there shouldn't be an
Yep.
issue coming over? No,
I should be able to come over. I can even apply for a work visa if I
yeah,
wanted to work an event over there for someone.
that's not a bad idea. Bit like we said, but it's how we build you up over, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I'm planning on doing too. I also have looked into it, obviously. So,
What come over
Yeah.
here?
right, right. Well, and having that connection with From Beyond with Glenn, you know, I would,
It's not easy for you guys to get over here, is it? With recognition, with
Mhm.
us, you know. That's why I do my podcast now. Like I said, I have over 150 guests going into August. You know, but most of them are mainly American, and I appreciate so much what you guys do over there. And the fact that, you know, I've had Rez, we've had, I don't know, 20 different offers of different people. Come over here, come over there. We got offered to go to Japan a few weeks ago, and like that.
Yeah.
You
There
know, we
was
really appreciate it.
Japan now. They got them haunted woods over there. Isn't that where the suicide
yes, the
forest is?
suicide forest. Yeah.
Suicide Forest. It's
I
the
wouldn't
one
mind
place I
checking
want to
that
go
out.
to. I've got a friend who's a medium, Irene Akido. She's a medium. She actually lives half a mile from Suicide Forest.
Cool. With me being as much time as I spend in the woods up here on the reservation and stuff like that, and growing up over the years in other woods, I feel naturally at home. I've never really had a set of woods that just made my skin crawl. So I'm interested to see how I react to
Yeah, that's
somewhere
weird.
it's supposed to be known as being dark and everything like that, as far as for
It's,
woods.
they say it's the closest you could come to death while being alive. And that fascinates me.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Not in a morbid way. It's the for mediums, psychics, empaths. That would be, for me, the one experience that you will never lose. Never ever. It's you think of all those disgruntled spirits, you think of all those people that have taken their lives, their bodies are still there as well. They just left to rot there. It's going to be a phenomenal thing for anybody that's in that sort of field just to walk in. When I spoke to Irene, she informed me that 92% of Japan is haunted.
Hmm.
That's a lot.
Hmm.
That is a hell of a lot when you think about
How did they figure that out?
That's
surveys. Apparently, she showed me it on a survey.
Huh.
hmm,
Because I was under the impression that every square inch of Earth was haunted.
pretty
See, I
Because,
much.
thought that, but then according to what there is, I think it's how they've done it with history.
okay.
But 92%, that's a lot when you think about how big their landmass is.
Yeah. It's not a large landmass.
Right.
Not for
But then
Japan.
again, when you look at the fact that everywhere and everything's haunted, you have those that have gone in and cleansed locations and cleansed lands. So therefore, if you do that and seal it, no one's coming in or out of that. It'd no longer be considered a haunted land. So maybe that's how they're doing it. How they
Maybe.
get the ones that aren't haunted anymore.
I'd be intrigued to find out why it's that high. for sure.
Yeah, that does sound interesting.
How like you said, how would they have worked that out? Because that's quite a high number. That's
Yeah, I've been
basically,
just figuring out how what's haunted and what isn't because,
so they're basically saying, I know they say
yeah,
it's 1 in 100 or 1 in 10, usually when you're in the street, there's usually a spirit. But if
okay,
that's the case over there, what's the ratio for that?
nine,
Right.
9 out of 10.
See, that's what I mean. And they've got, what's the
Yeah,
name, the square, where you see all those people, big gathering. How many of those are spirits?
yeah,
It,
interesting.
it makes you think, doesn't it?
It does.
It does. I mean, I'm a medium and an empath, and I honestly can't say I've ever been anywhere where I wasn't picking up on spirit of some sort or another.
Oh, I don't, oh, it's horrible. I pick up pain and I see shadows. So I've gone through a 15-year-old girl who died from child labour. I've been shot, I've been stabbed, I've had my legs taken off. It's horrific. I don't advise anyone go through childbirth. Guys, if you think, men, I'm talking, if you think you can handle childbirth, good luck to you. I'm
Yeah.
23 stone and I've got a video, because they did it on purpose to me, where a 15-year-old girl had basically been raped by her master of a house and she fell pregnant. And during childbirth, she died. Well, we connected to her, two mediums and me, and you can actually see the video somewhere where she's actually holding my hand, and at the other end, she's holding one of the medium's hands. And within 5 seconds, bang, I've hit the floor. I think that works out 322 pounds
Mm-hmm.
in weight.
Yeah.
So you can see I'm very tall and I'm quite wide. But yeah, 5 seconds I was on the floor crying my eyes out.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal what empaths, mediums, and psychics can go through. People think that we're a joke as such. We're not valid.
We're entertainers.
Yep.
But what we do as an entertainer, it's real.
Yes, it is. It's very real.
Mhm.
And honestly, with mediumship, it's one of the strongest healing ways. I've helped
Yep.
so many people over the years who, through emotional healing, by being able to help them connect with loved ones.
Yep.
It's
It's
amazing what we do. People,
absolutely.
And the courses I took, that was the one thing that is embedded into you over and over again, that as a medium, you are a healer.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not doing it to help someone, then you're in the wrong place. You need to go.
I mean, you think we've passed messages on, me and Dan have done it for countless clients and, customers. We've done loads of free readings, we helped, I did one at a farm, church farm, and we were in the military side. We had a younger lady and an older lady. The older lady had lost her husband. Dan pulled Tim through, and I pulled through the father to this younger lady, who she thought she was a disappointment. And through the reading and everything, he thought she was a disappointment and everything else. When we actually spoke to her and told her, we showed her through equipment as well, that the responses we were getting, so she could actually see who was responding to us. And when she asked questions to him, and it all worked out. They said basically he was very proud of everything else, and she broke down. But that, to hear from her dad, I know it sounds, people say it's crazy how we do things like this, but for her to get that message from her father,
It's very profound for people.
it is. It's
It's
amazing how
healing.
you can.
Yeah, definitely. It's amazing to me how I don't get names. I wish I did get names, but I don't. But I can bring through evidence for people and they just know. They just know that that's who I've connected with. And it is amazing to see the difference in some people. Like they get up, they're completely different. They're a completely different person than when they sat down.
Yeah.
It's absolutely
Skeptics are the best, aren't
astounding.
they? It's skeptics are the best. When you give them a message
Mm-hmm.
from a loved one, oh
Yep.
wow, when their faces light up and you're like that.
Yeah.
I
I
don't need
had
to
the
go anymore. I've done my job.
opportunity. I know I love it, right? I love the skeptics. And I had the opportunity to read for 2 different retired police officers over the
Ooh.
weekend and
We did.
hit with both of them. Like it was miraculous with both of them. Yeah.
We had when I did Nocturne Hall as an event, we had 8 members of Interpol
Oh, wow.
come in with us, and we were I was the one that led them with Mickey Vermouche, and Mickey gave readings to 3 of the ladies, and one of them was fighting a custody battle over her daughter, and he gave her a reading. They all broke down. It's amazing how people respond. We've had bikers in the past come and do events with us, big lads, so twice the size of me, and they're going out crying.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not fear or anything like that. It's joy.
It's connection.
And
Yeah.
it's but to have these 8 Interpol officers come in, and 3, like I said, 3 of them had readings. The young girl broke down in tears. Her husband was there. He actually got pulled actually by one of the kids that was there. It's brilliant. You can see it as he's being pulled away. But yeah, we got a message a couple of weeks later. Thank you very much. I won the custody battle to my daughter.
Nice.
But he put her at rest.
Yeah.
He made it easy for her. And people's appreciation, when you get people saying to you, thank you so much, for us, a thank you means a million words,
It does. Yes.
Yep.
And
It does.
at the moment, I'm getting a lot of it, as well as obviously the negative with the petition. But, like I said, I'm getting a lot of people asking to do these interviews. And when I talk to people, I mean, it's my second that I've done for somebody else. But when I talk to people, it's amazing to hear their stories and experiences, especially the American side of it all, because we don't have anything like that really, at all. But when you appreciate it, you can't describe that to me. To have somebody say thank you, it means a million things.
It does.
And you've done your job and you're good at it.
Absolutely. I could not agree more. It's amazing how it literally transforms lives.
It does. Totally agree with you. We had, I did private investigation, house investigation with a lady. We called her Mrs. P. It was in the papers and everything. I went down with two friends of my ex-partner. So Mickey Vermeersch, his daughter, and my ex-partner at the time. We went to Wales. The story is Mrs. P basically worked with a friend. They owned a spiritual shop, so it's thousand mods, stuff like that, spiritual balls, whatever it was there, basically stones. And 30 years ago, this lady couldn't deal with what was going on in her life, the partner to Mrs. P. So she sold her soul to the devil. She sold Mrs. P's soul to the devil for financial gain. Mrs. P lost the shop to the lady 2 months later.
Wow.
Mrs. P then lost her husband to cancer 4 years later. Mrs. P spent 15 years locked in her house. Like when I went to meet this lady, she was pure white, little frail woman, nothing in her. It was horrible. It was the first demonic entity that I had experienced. And I say demonic because we've got the SLS clip of it trying to escape into me, just hasn't got it to go, basically. But there was multiple personalities. I actually have the diary for the first 4 years of Mrs. P's life, once this devil thing, this worship thing had happened. And she'd been married 27 different ways. And one of them that stuck out was she was in Japan, white dress. She had loads of women in white dresses downside her. And all of a sudden, she mentions 2 guards went down either side and cut the heads off, and she bathed in the blood of these women. And then she was basically married to the devil. I've got her painting of how she saw the demonic presence. She actually did a painting, so it's here, I've got it all. So we got rid of it all. There was 4 entities. She basically dabbled in scrying, but wasn't shown how to protect herself, open and shut down scrying. So she let something through as well on that. So we got rid of that. We got rid of the demonic thing as well. But as soon as it all went, her face went bright red. She had colour back in her cheeks. This was 4 years ago. Mrs. P now owns. She goes out every day. She's got her own car. She goes on holiday once a month. She goes out with all her friends at least twice a week. They meet up. It's amazing. The change in a person like that is phenomenal. That was my first ever experience of how a spirit can do someone's life.
Yep.
And the change and I will never forget the face. She cried her eyes out because obviously her husband was a problem when he was alive. He was drunk and everything else. But she had him buried out in the garden. But because she did this scrying, he couldn't get in the house to protect her. So when it all lifted, the first thing was Mickey got a message from him while they were in the kitchen. And I'll never forget it. And Mickey turned around and said, "Your husband said he's sorry for being a bastard and getting drunk and ruining her life. And he loved her." She just broke down. And I'm not being funny. Even I had tears.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
People don't understand how much of an effect we as investigators or mediums have on people's lives.
Absolutely. Yeah.
We don't save people. We can't save people's lives, but we can certainly change it.
You know, actually, you might have saved her life by helping her out there.
We probably
You know,
did.
because
She's such a new
someone
lady.
that's under so much repression like that, it gets to a point where they can't take it no more, and then they end up, doing the
She was
unthinkable.
phenomenal, mate. 15 years she went through it all. Absolutely phenomenal, that lady was. I have never ever met such a nice lady, and what she went through and the evidence we caught, it's because the entity was a sexual thing. So she was being attacked sexually.
So
Like I said,
an incubus?
we thought it was it Busby? Busby? But he came through as multiple personalities. So in all rooms, there was different spirits, or what was different spirits, but it was the one demonic presence. But he split himself off. So he split himself off. It was very clever. And like I said, when I saw this, for me, it was, this is real. Because I've never done anything like this. I won't lie. I've done paranormal investigations. I've done events. This was a step up. And when I saw it all and how it happened played out, we were there for 48 hours. I looked at the field after that day and I realised that there is more than just, normal spirits. It's real. And if you do get caught out playing with it, you're on your own. You are on your own.
Yeah.
Now, I've been attacked by a demonic presence. I was hospitalised for 3 weeks. So
wow.
I have first experience of it all as well as witnessing other people.
Yeah, wow, that's intense. That is intense. I'm glad that you were able to help her though, because you literally changed her life.
Yeah.
We talk to her every day since then.
You gave her life back.
Yes.
It's one of the most proudest things. I said to a lot of people ask me, why do I get into doing this? When I was younger, I was a tearaway. I did a lot of things that I shouldn't have done. I feel now this is my way of trying to get redemption. That's how I see it.
That makes total sense.
Yep.
You know, I've ruined a lot of life when I was younger, being a tearaway and what I've done, the people I got involved with, and now, it's time to change. And I've done that for the last 8 years I've been doing this. I have changed people's lives and I do get a lot out of it, but I just feel I'm not done yet.
Well, and quite honestly, you changed your life, and that's where it started. You
Yep.
had to change your life to start changing other people's lives.
Yeah, of course you do.
Yeah.
You have to take it seriously as well. This
Yes.
isn't a joke.
Right. It's self-healing that allows you to do healing for other people. Most definitely.
Yep.
Okay, dead air is not good.
No, it's not.
I was like,
It was
Well,
kind of a mic drop moment there, It's like,
it was
ooh.
though. It
Yeah,
made you
let's
think
absorb
and-
that.
it's
Yeah, you gotta
powerful,
do it
isn't
once.
it?
It
And
is.
It is.
It's a very powerful thing. I say to people go, all you did was go in there and help this lady, get rid of this, get rid of that. No, we didn't. We know we gave that lady back her life.
Yes.
Yep.
For me, as a normal person, it's for the first time, it made me realize that you can do good for others.
Mm-hmm.
And I changed as a person with that. I mean, yes, I do struggle with a lot of people I'm not into big groups or anything like that. I can't stand, to be honest, I hate people, but I am not a people person anymore.
At this
There's just too
point,
many idiots, mate. I'm sorry, there's just too many idiots. But,
at this point, who does like to deal with people? It's gotten that bad, over the years.
It
You know,
has.
I actually do like to deal with people.
See, I
I
did.
do.
I
Yeah.
did. I won't lie, I did. But with being all diagnosed with autism this year, bipolar 2 years ago, I changed. With my brain injury as well, I've changed a lot. I've come out of the Resnos. I've come away from the paranormal field as investigating as such. I'll go out and help people investigate, but I can't do it on my own anymore. It's too much.
Yeah.
With, as we were talking about earlier, if you're doing all the readings, it gets too much. People expect too much of you.
I agree.
Can't do it. You just can't keep up with it. People just don't understand. When I get paranormal hangovers, and the best way to describe paranormal hangover is getting drunk without alcohol.
Yep, I get them too.
And it is horrific. I spent
is.
weeks recovering. And people think, oh, no, there's nothing there. It doesn't affect you.
It's an energy hangover. When you get overloaded with energies and multiple energies, it takes a toll, and you need time to recover from that. I think you're right. A lot of people don't understand that. I think that for people who don't understand how we work with energy, there's just it doesn't make sense to them because they've never experienced it. It's one of those things where they've never experienced what it's like to be overwhelmed with energy.
Yeah.
And
it's a bit like mental health, isn't it?
It is.
People don't know it, they're ignorant. If you've never had it, you're ignorant, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
It's the same with paranormal.
And there are other experiences in life too, where if you've not experienced it, you're not going to fully understand it. And, I think that that's pretty much normal humanness, but yeah, it can be difficult to deal with people who don't get it. And I know I call them NPCs, non-player characters.
Oh my God. Yeah. Computers all of a sudden again.
Yes. But, there are some people that are just so closed down and so non-believing in anything paranormal, magical, or even anything outside of their own five senses,
Yeah.
And they use the same phrases over and over. They have a very limited thing, topics that they talk about. It's like going up to a non-player character in a video game and they just keep asking the same 12 questions, right?
Yeah.
NPCs. That's what I call them.
They're limited vocabulary.
Yes.
Let's be honest. if you
Yeah.
get involved with spirit, I suggest like to people all the time, if you're going to work with spirit, I don't obviously, but I can see things. I know I've got things here. Um, I have dealt with it in the past. It's an amazing experience.
It is.
Things like when you leave your body when you're sleeping, astral projection.
Yes.
Yep.
If you
Astral
can do
travel.
that, if you can do that, that is an amazing thing to do. That is the experiences. I've done it through mistake. I've done it, and it's only been a couple of times I've ever done it, but it's an experience.
It is.
You
It's
know,
an amazing experience.
to look down on your own body, like like near-death experiences. That's another one.
Mm-hmm.
Near-death experiences change everybody who does this. A lot of people that
She's
don't have
familiar with that.
I've had
Yeah,
4
I
of
am.
them. I've had 4 near-death experiences. So I'm very familiar with what that's like. But it did teach me at a very young age when I had my first one that when bad things started happening, I could just check out of my body and come back later. So I
Did you
didn't,
not find that weird? You could do that. I mean, because obviously
yeah,
you're not protected either, are you? So when you ever like bothered with the fact that maybe something could move in? I mean, everyone watches things like the Insidious, and they
mm-hmm,
look at it and go, "Yeah, that can happen," but it's not really like that.
mm-mm.
It's nothing like that. The problem we have as well is films, TV. You know,
Yeah.
they've done a lot. They've influenced so much in this field, and none of
And
it's
even in
good.
people's minds with movies, people have very different ideas because of the way that things are portrayed in movies. And I mean, I remember like the movie Ghost, how often
Yeah.
does it actually happen that way? You know?
Right. Hey,
You
I want
don't
to
see
make
it
some
like that, do you?
pottery with a spirit. Come on now.
You don't see it like that. I mean, I've seen videos of where there's been an accident, somebody's passed, and you see like a light or
Yeah.
a figure walk off into the woods or something. I've seen that. I could
Mm-hmm.
quite believe that, but it just I can't work out how.
I
Like
stopped
people say,
trying to
it's got to
work
be
out
both.
how.
I
Like
had
people say, it's got to be one
someone
or the other.
I had someone years ago. I was young, and the conversation of hell came up, and their theory kind of stuck with me. Hell is what you make of it.
Yeah.
It is basically for like child molesters. They're going to feel the pain of who they molested. They're going to feel the pain of the family of suffering through the rebuild. And then they're going to be surrounded by all these little children that they can't touch. So everything that they enjoyed is now being turned back on them, and they're feeling the opposite side of the coin. And to
Wow.
me, that's like complete torture. I look at it. So
Well, isn't that the whole point of a hell is torture?
But I
exactly.
find, I'm not being funny, I find this now in the meat, being in a meat shield, I
Yep.
find this hell. This is hell to me.
And
I
there's a
can
lot of people
understand
out
that.
there that agree with that. And
This
I
is
can
my
relate.
personal hell. Like, this is what I feel. And when I pass, like you said, this is gone. You're invincible after that.
Right.
Yeah.
Your life changes. I've always said that this is the start of your life. You know, you'll start now and then you'll move on. But I have heard, I was doing a lot of research into this, they reckon every 500 years you're reincarnated.
Hmm.
Sometimes sooner.
Yeah, sometime sooner.
Well,
Yeah,
it's happened. Yeah, there's proof of it as well.
right.
Yep.
Guys, this has been an amazing discussion. We're running a little low on time because I have to be somewhere else. So but I do so much appreciate your coming on with us, John-Paul, and sharing your insights and your stories. And I always like chatting with Rez because he's my best, excuse me, he's my bestie. So, I
Yep.
always like chatting with him. But John-Paul, where can people connect with you if they have questions or if they were, if they have
At the
somewhere?
moment, on Facebook, or they can go through themselves or Rez. I know
Okay.
I've got my interview with you next week.
Yeah.
I'm
Yep.
interviewing you next week.
Yes. All
That's gonna
right.
be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be a blast. Well, again, thank you so much. Hey, everybody, hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, hit the like, comment. Let's get some stuff going here.
Hold on before we take off now.
Yeah.
Everybody, Mumbo, your events, my dear. You didn't tell them to
Oh,
come visit you.
Moonbow, yes. I am having two big Moonbow events this year. One is at the end of March, and that is a 2-day fair at a haunted hotel in Saranac Lake, New York. So that would be at Hotel Saranac, and that is March 30th and 31st. And then in July, I have a Moonbow event at Broadhead Manor in Broadhead, Wisconsin, a very well-known haunted location. And we're going to have a lot of vendors at that one. We've got over 40 vendors. We've got healers and psychics, and I hear tell there's going to be some sort of investigation after the fair on that Saturday, July 20th. So,
You can find me there at that one too.
yep,
I'll be there.
awesome, awesome.
And then
Go ahead.
Hi,
I,
then.
oh, I do have one event I got to plug here while we're
Yep.
plugging in events. The Marionette Menominee Bigfoot Convention up in the UP. Come up and see us. You know, that's June 1st, I believe. And we have a bunch of vendors, great speakers. I know Barnaby Jones will be speaking. Doug Hychek from from the Untold Radio Network will be there speaking. It's going to be a great thing. So those that are into cryptids and the paranormal, June 1st, come on up and see us.
And
I
while
believe,
he's there,
yeah,
I will be back at Broadhead Manor June 1st, and I believe 2nd now. I think they added another day to it. Spirits in the Spring, and I will be one of the presenters, one of the speakers at Spirits in the Spring Paracon.
awesome.
Yeah.
So there we go. We remembered to tell everyone about where we're going to be at.
You remembered. Thank you.
So, all right, everybody.
All
Thank
right,
you.
everyone. Have a great rest of your day, evening, whatever. And I'm sure we will be chatting with John-Paul again.
Yep.
Well,
All right. Take care. Bye.
thank you.
Bye.